Magandang gabi mga kaibigan, mga kababayan at mga kapatid. Isa na naman pong mahalagang issue ang ating lipunan, ang ating pong tatalakayin. Kanina po ang Lower House Constitutional Amendment Committee ay nagsimula na pong talakayin ang tungkol po sa charter change. At sa atin pong naunang pagtalakay, sinabi po natin na hindi dapat na nalimitahan ng committee o ng Constituent Assembly ang amendments to the Constitution in terms of amending only the economic provisions of the Constitution, sapagkat alam po naman natin na minsan lamang ang pag-aamenda sa saligang batas. Sa makatwid kung matutuloy po ito, magkasundo ang Kongreso, yung dalawang kapulungan ng Kongreso to constitute itself into a constituent assembly to draft for any amendments to the Constitution. Our stand is to the effect that this should deal with the most important aspect of the Constitution which needed to be changed. Ano po yon? Ang sinasabi po natin, pinakamahalagang bahagi po ng amendment sa saligang batas ay yung pagpapalit po ng forma ng pamahalaan. It is shifting from presidential type to a parliamentary type, or maybe presidential or federalism or federal type of government. Bakit po natin ito isinusulong? Sapagkat ang sinasabi po natin, ang presidential type of government that we have had since 1935 with the 1935 Constitution, we had changed. We had also the 1973 Constitution, which was drafted by the 1971 Constitutional Convention, and afterwards the 1987 Constitution. So 1935, 1973, and 1987. And now, magkakaroon po tayo ng amendment. But for those three amendments already, and this is the fourth one, the shifting from presidential to parliamentary type of government, even if it is more effective, hindi po yan naisagawa. Bakit po? Sapagkat the framers of the Constitution, the drafters, instead of thinking of what should be a lasting benefit for the Filipino people in terms of meaningful reforms, in terms of shifting from presidential to parliamentary government or federalism, hindi po ginagawa, sapagkat kanila pong pinoprotektahan yung kanilang mga sarili, yung kanilang mga positions, at the expense of the lasting benefit of the Filipino people. Halimbawa po ngayon, ipinipilit po ng nagtutulak ng pagbabago that it should be limited. If there would be an amendment, it should be limited to the economic provisions. Never touching the type of government to be instituted. Why? Because they're afraid na pag ito ay, if this would be touched, the political aspect as to the form of government, there may be an extension of the incumbent officials constituting as the transition period from presidential to whatever is going to be adopted. At ayaw nila na ma-extend yung panunungkulan ng incumbent officials. At dahil lamang dyan, hindi po tayo nagkakaroon ng meaningful reforms na dapat siyang pag-ukulan ng pangunahing pansin. Ito po ang sinasabi natin na kasakiman sa bahagi po ng Kongreso na bumubuo ng Constituent Assembly na siyang magsusulat ng panukalang saligang batas. So, ang dalawa pong ito, dalawang kapulungan ay maaaring magkasundo provided only that it is the economic provisions should be the ones amended. Meaningless po yung charter change na yan kung lilimitahan po sa economic provisions. Samantalang ang pinakamahalaga po dito, we reiterate our position that it should be the shifting from presidential type of government to parliamentary type. If federalism could not be adopted, then it should be parliamentary type. Ang presidential form of government that we have had is inherently defective. Ano pong depekto niyan? Nararanasan po natin yan ngayon. Because of the separations of between the separation between the executive and the legislative. Incessant po, walang tigil ang awayan between the President and the Senate and Congress, especially the Senate. Bakit po? Yung mga nasa Senate, yung mga senador po na yan, because they are nationally elected. So, they are always potential to become a president. Kaya po yung mga oposisyonista, yung kontrapartido ng presidente, lagi po silang nandoon. Hindi para makipagtulungan, bagkus siraan, harangin ang magandang programa ng Pangulo. Yan po ang nangyayari. In everything that the President is doing, the Senate, especially the senators, are making always politics with it instead of cooperating. Pagkatapos po, whatever laws that should be enacted, napakatagal ang proseso between Congress itself, between the lower house and the upper house. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. Ang presidential type of government po natin, itong sinasabi nun, this is politics of lordism. Bakit po? Pag kumandidato kang Pangulo, kailangan mo ng malaking gastos. Sa lawak po ng teritoryo ng Pilipinas, sa daming botante, bibilhin mo, gagastusan mo. So, kailangan mong manalangin sa lahat ng lords. Gambling lords, drug lords, business lord, landlords. except Jesus the Lord. At pag ikaw po ay may utang na loob na, so ikaw ay kanilang political hostage ng mga lords na ito. You cannot inject a meaningful reforms. Magbabayad ka ng utang na loob. Sa lahat ng naging pangulo po, ganyan ang nangyari, except the Duterte administration, who has the courage of fighting against these lords. Lahat ng lords kinalaban niya, kaya nga po tayo nagpapasalamat sa kasalukuyang Pangulo. Pero bihira po ito mangyari. Kung parliamentary type po, hindi kailangan manalangin ng Prime Minister sa lahat ng lords na yan, sapagkat ang boboto lang sa kanya ay yung members of the parliament. Hindi po magastos yan. Una po yan. Under the present system of government, we have this so-called personalistic type of government. Ano ibig po sabihin nun? Ang mga bumoboto sila sapagkat o dahil sa pangako na binibigay ng kanilang mga kandidato na pag sila ang nanalo, bibigyan mo ng trabaho, bibigyan mo ng kontrata sa gobyerno. Lahat, langit at lupa, ipangangako. So ano pong mangyayari? Kailangan ipanalo mo ang kandidato mo by all means. So it breeds dirty politics. Kung kailangan mong mandaya, kailangan mong pumatay, gagawin mo. May panalo mo lang. Bakit? You equate the winning of your candidate, especially the president, with your future. Pag nanalo ang kandidato kong congressman, ang kandidato kong mayor, ang kandidato kong gobernador, ang kandidato kong pangulo, gaganda ang buhay ko. So by hook or by crook, ipananalo ko to. Dapat manalo. Kung may pera kong sarili, gagastusan ko. Kung wala naman, services ko, loyalty. Wala akong pakialam. Basta mahalaga maipanalo ko ang aking kandidato. So yun po ang epekto. Ngayon, kapag nanalo, magkakatrabaho, anong gagawin? Tatanggalin yung mga dating kapanalig ng natalong kandidato. So, anong resulta po? Division of the Filipino people. The electoral process caused division of the Filipino society. Bakit? Pag inalis ka sa trabaho, ipapalitan ka ng mga aliporis ng bagong nanalo, sasama ang loob mo. Hanap buhay mo ang inalis sa'yo. Sabi nga ni Machiavelli, alisin mo na ang lahat, huwag lang ang ikabubuhay mo. Another thing po, pag itong mga opposition po, yung mga nananalo na opposition, katulad po ng mga senador, nasabi nila dilawan ngayon. Instead of cooperating with the president for whatever the latter is doing for the good of the people, lagi pong hinaharang. Bakit? Because they want to make an issue for the upcoming election with everything that the president is doing. Kahit na magandang intention, pasasamain. Halimbawa po dyan, itong COVID. A matter of survival for the Filipino people, yet still the opposition is making politics with it. At hindi po ito matatapos hanggat hindi po natin pinalitan ang sistema ng gobyerno. Samantalang po yan kung parliamentary type of government, if we have to install a parliamentary type of government, napakadali po ang shifting. We could attain, we repeat, the highest degree of cooperation between the executive and the legislative. It is economical in terms of election. Bawat kandidato ang gagastusan lang niya yung campaign within his legislative district. Uso na ngayon yung mga lone district. Muntinlupa, ang kukumpanyahan mo lang Muntinlupa. So, in terms of being economical, parliamentary type is the best. Well, economical in terms of operating expenses. Ang sabi ng COA sa kanyang latest report ngayon, Congress is the highest expender of the people's money. Sapagkat po mayroong duplication between the lower house and the upper house. Kapag parliamentary type of government, wala na pong Senate. Yung lower house ngayon will be constituted as a parliament. So isang gastusan lang po. Matatanggal po yung expenditures natin para sa Senado. Kaya nga po inuupos ng Senado ang charter change, ang nabaguhin ang political aspect nito. So, sa mga kababayan ko po, magtulungan po tayo. Kapag natuloy po itong Constituent Assembly, Congress converting itself into a Constituent Assembly, then even if they are saying that the amendment would be limited to economic aspect, we the people should demand that it should be a thorough amendment, revision of the Constitution, especially with respect to political aspect, shifting from presidential to parliamentary type of government. Mas mabilis po, madali pong gawin yan. Ngayon, yung transition na sinasabi nila, kung hindi man yan maiwasan, ba't wala tayong magagawa? Ba't sila matatakot sa transition? Kaysa naman habang buhay tayong magdurusa with this present type of government. At tanggalin po, we do agree na tanggalin po yung party list. Under the 1987 Constitution, yan po ay leverage siya ni Cory Aquino doon sa mga NGOs na tumulong sa kanya. Mapatalsik si Marcos. Pero ang totoo po, useless yan. At tama po yan na madaling paraan para matanggal yung Makabayan Black. Tanggalin ang party list. Anyway, hindi naman po napapakinabangan yan. Bakit? Maganda po sana ang intention to ensure that the marginalized sector of the society can be heard in Congress. Their specific interest can be served. Pero hindi po naman nangyayari. Bakit? Yung sistema po, kung paano may pananalo ang party list, magastos po. At ang nananalo, yung mga mayayaman na ginagamit lang ang party list, being the nominee. Yung mga components naman ng nasabing party list ay napipilitan na kumuha ng nominees na mayayaman na may kakayahang gastusan ang campaign nationwide. Isang halimbawa po dyan, pabahay na di umano ang layunin ay mabigyan ng bahay ang mga homeless, pero ang representative na pakayaman. Bakit? Isa lang may kakayahan para mangumpanya. Yung mga homeless, mahirap yan. Wala naman talagang kakayahan na mangumpanya yan. Under the party list law, nationwide ang kakampanyahin mo. Buong Pilipinas. So, sinong kukunin mo na party list nominees? Ay di mayayaman na silang gagastos sa eleksyon. Pag nandoon na sila, instead of serving the interest of the marginalized sector of the Filipino society na nire-represent mo, hindi po napapagukulan yan. Minsan naalala ko, security guard ang nominee ang umupo sa Kongreso, si Mikey Arroyo, the son of then President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. How could he represent a security guard when he himself is not a security guard? How can you represent the interests of the homeless when you are very, very rich? Ito namang makabayan na ang nire-representa nila yung CPP, NP, NDF, which has been declared terrorist group. Allowing them to participate in every election would be in effect allowing the CPP, NP to participate. So, tanggalin na yung party list. We do agree. But then, ito po yung mga substantial changes that which to be undertaken. Shifting from presidential type to parliamentary type. Elimination or removal of the party list system. Din yung economic provision na sinasabi natin. No problem with that. To allow to relax some stringent provisions in the Constitution relative to the foreign investors. So, pwede po yan. Kaya lamang po, ito din. Dapat, in the insertion of the economic provision, we have to see to it, gawan ito ng paraan, na dapat yung employment system which is very exploitative, mabago din po yan. Sapagkat what is the use of allowing foreign investors in the Philippines if these foreign investors would reduce the Filipino labor force into their slaves right in their own country? Ito po, marami pong dito. So, kailangan pag-aralan ito para yung pagpasok ng mga foreign investors hindi po maging dahilan yan para ang mga Pilipino ay maging alipin sa sariling bayan. Dito po sa atin ang mga workers natin ay alipin. Bakit po? Una, in the aspect of salary. So, very mababa po. It cannot be a living wage enough to provide the worker and his family a decent life. So, ito po yung mga aspeto na dapat tingnan. Kaya po yung amendment to the Constitution, yung charter change po. This is a very serious thing. Hindi po ito, it should not be limited to serving the specific interest of Congress, of the senators and congressmen who will be writing, who will be drafting any amendment to the Constitution. Sa bayan ng Pilipino, nananawagan po tayo, samantalahin po natin ito. We have this social media to be used as our tools to communicate. Let's have this as the tool for communicating with one another with the same advocacy. Paano po natin ito gagawin pag usapan po natin ito? Let us coordinate with one another. Hindi po pwede na tayo ay bystander lang, na wala po tayong gagawin. Nahayaan po natin sila sa kanilang gustong gawin. Kailangan po, let us unite Filipino people. Magkaisa po tayo. Kailangan sa charter change na ito, ma-inject yung pinakamahalagang aspeto na dapat baguhin sa saligang batas ng 1987 Constitution. Imagine, 87, how long? 2020 na tayo ngayon. It's about 37 years. And we will be amending only a part of it, when in fact there is a necessity to change the most important aspect, and that is the system of governance. Inuulit ko po, kailan pa ba tayo nagkaroon ng ganitong uri ng pamahalaan? It was instituted under the 1935 Constitution, presidential type of government. It was not substantially changed in the 1973 Constitution. Why? Because natakot din tayo na baka pag binago natin ito ay magkaroon tayo ng hindi magandang pamumuhay. Then, after 1973-1987, hindi rin ito binago. Bakit? Kasi itong uri na ito, ang gobyerno na ito, is only serving the elitist, the oligarchy. And the Filipino masses left it to them as to what should be the kind of government that should be instituted. So 1935, 1973, 1987, at ngayon po ay 2021. We are in the process. And yet, the assurances given by the people concerned is that they should not be touching with any other aspects of the Constitution, only limited to the economic provisions. Nasaan po ang meaningful reforms? Kaya lang ayaw nilang baguhin sapagkat masasagasaan ang kanilang mga interest. Paano po ang interest ng masa? Kung ito talagang sistema ng gobyerno, presidential type of government since 1935, is really workable for the Filipino people, then the majority of the Filipino people would have been happy with it. Dapat naging masaya tayo. Pero katunayan na mula noon hanggang ngayon at hanggang sa darating na panahon, wala tayo nakikitang manaag at sikat ng pagbabago sa ating buhay. It only means that this system of government, presidential type, is not suited for us. To judge which is the best government is for that government to give happiness to the governed. We have been longing for the building of a just and humane society, but ever since we have not attained it yet. It is because the system that we have is not conducive. On the contrary, it is an obstacle for the Filipino people to build a just and humane society. Kaya po mga kababayan, mga kaibigan, mga kapatid, if this 2021 amendment to the Constitution could be pushed through, dapat po, number one na babaguhin dito yung form of government, shifting from presidential to parliamentary type of government for the best benefit of the Filipino masses. Kontra po to. Itong sistema po na ito, we could just expect that the Senate would oppose it, this being adverse to them. Why? Because in a parliamentary type of government, the office of the senators would be automatically abolished. It will only be the lower house with the new name that will survive. So, pinakikiusap po natin sa mga congressman at sa mga ilang meaningful senators katulad po ni Bongo, Bato de la Rosa. We hope this pro-administration senators in the Senate, and dito naman po sa mababang kapulungan, we have this group of Marcolita, Arsaga, Defensor, and the rest, Alvarado na nagpakita po ng magandang performance during the ABS-CBN franchise hearing. At alam po natin mas marami pa kayong mahihikayat. For the moment po, good night. Thank you. And as a token of support, we invite everyone to subscribe to our channel, ang ating paninindigan sa napapanahong issue ng lipunan. Muli, maraming salamat at magandang